Welcome to AI Daily for Thursday, July 16th, 2026. Today, the machinery around AI got more serious. OpenAI detailed an internal attacker built to find prompt injections. Arena added factuality to its ranking method. SpaceXAI open-sourced the Grok Build coding harness and launched Grok 4.5 for coding and agentic work. 4 coding assistants shipped meaningful workflow changes, while thinking machines made Inkling's full weights available for customization. And before midnight, 29 countries signed the agreement, creating a new intergovernmental AI cooperation body in Shanghai. This final edition covers the full calendar day in Singapore time. Let's separate the confirmed changes from the claims that still need proof. Our LAT is a safety system designed to behave like an attacker. OpenAI introduced GPT-Red, an internal automated red teamer that searches for prompt injection failures and produces adversarial examples before broader model deployment. Instead of relying only on people crafting attacks one by one, OpenAI trained GPT-5 through self-play. The attacker and a diverse group of defender models improve against each other across files, web pages, emails, and tool outputs. OpenAI then used those attacks while training GPT 5.6. The strongest published number comes from a replicated indirect prompt injection arena against GPT 5.1. GPT-Red found successful attacks in 84% of scenarios, compared with 13% for human red teamers. OpenAI also reports a 0.05% failure rate for GPT 5.6 on GPT-Red's direct attacks. For builders, this points to a safety loop that can scale with agent capability. Train a specialized attacker, turn its successful exploits into training data, and test the next defender again. That matters as agents read untrusted content and gain permission to use files, browsers, and tools. The boundary is important. GPT-Red remains internal, and the headline results come from OpenAI's replicated or custom environments rather than an independent public evaluation. OpenAI says it keeps the attackers separate from deployed models and plans to publish a preprint with more detail. Arena is changing what its rankings can reward. It launched a factuality-adjusted view for text arena and search arena, combining human preference with the estimate of whether a model's web-verifiable claims are actually correct. Arena samples, battles, splits responses into atomic claims, filters for claims that can be checked on the web, and uses search agents to assign calibrated truth probabilities. A composite Bradley-Terry model then mixes those outcomes with human votes. The default factuality weight is 25%. The dataset is substantial. Arena reports more than 2 million labeled claims, covering about 130,000 text battles and 40,000 search battles. Verifiable claims appeared in 76% of text battles and 88% of search battles, with marginal true claim rates of 87 and 89%, respectively. This gives model teams a second axis beyond simple human preference. A polished, detailed response can win a vote while introducing errors. Conversely, a terse refusal can be factual but unhelpful. The combined score is an attempt to keep both failure modes visible. Do not read this as a universal truth ranking. The toggle is initially non-default. Only objective web verifiable claims enter the factuality term, and the result still depends on sampling, automated verification, calibration, and the chosen weight. Arena explicitly describes preference and factuality as complementary, incomplete signals. SpaceXAI has opened the code behind Grok Build, its terminal-based coding agent, and reset usage limits for all users. The release exposes the harness around the model, including the full-screen terminal interface and agent runtime. The published Rust code covers a coding agent that can inspect a repository, edit files, execute shell commands, search the web, and manage long-running work. It can run interactively, headlessly, for scripts and continuous integration, or inside editors through the agent client protocol. The repository identifies the terminal interface, shell, runtime, tools, workspace layer, configuration, sandboxing, skills, plugins, and hooks. SpaceXAI licenses its first-party code under Apache 2.0 and includes a source revision file linking the public tree to a monorepo commit. For coding agent builders, opening the harness is often more useful than exposing a chat surface. Teams can inspect how tools, checkpoints, terminal rendering, headless execution, and editor integration fit together, then compare those choices with other open coding runtimes. This is not a fully community-governed upstream. The public tree is periodically synced from an internal monorepo. External contributions are not accepted. Windows builds are best effort, and bundled third-party code keeps its original licenses. Openness here improves inspection and reuse, but not control of the product roadmap. The coding CLI radar is unusually busy. GitHub Copilot CLI, Qwen Code Crush, and Claude Code all published releases during the day, with changes spanning planning, safety, reusable skills, structured questions, session handling, and sub-agent visibility. Copilot added microphone selection, canvas interactions, plugin marketplaces, and separate worktree and move commands. Its plan mode now blocks built-in tools that mutate the workspace. Qwen added a learn command for creating skills, structured channel memory, PDF vision fallback, archived exports, and workspace MCP management. Crush shipped a first-class question tool with single choice, multiple choice, free text, yes or no, combined forms, and mouse support. Claude Code added an option to forward sub-agent text in streamed output, hardened approval messages against misleading characters, preserved hook prompts, and improved background agent status reporting. The common direction is operational maturity. Coding agents are becoming systems that coordinate people, sub-agents, tools, memory, plugins, and parallel workspaces. Better questions and clearer status reduce ambiguity, while explicit planning and worktree controls can reduce accidental changes during long autonomous sessions. These changelogs are not a head-to-head test. Copilot's planning block still excludes MCP and external tools, while Qwen changed its approval default to auto. Teams should review tool permissions and defaults before upgrading. Feature count alone says nothing about reliability, model quality, or safe behavior in a real repository. SpaceXAI launched Grok 4.5, calling it its strongest model for coding, agentic tasks, and knowledge work. It is available in Grok Build, Cursor, and the SpaceXAI API. The model was trained across tens of thousands of NVIDIA GP300 GPUs, with asynchronous agent rollouts that can run for hours. Grok 4.5 is now the default model inside Grok Build. SpaceXAI reports 29% on SWE Marathon, 83.3% on Terminal Bench 2.1, and 64.7% on SWE Bench Pro. It also claims 80 output tokens per second and much lower token use on engineering tasks. For builders, the practical combination is speed, coding strength, direct placement inside two popular agent surfaces, and API pricing of $2 per million input tokens and $6 per million output tokens. Keep the benchmark boundary visible. These are vendor-published results. Several comparisons use different harnesses, and coding evaluations do not prove broad superiority across every workload. Independent production testing still matters. By early Thursday in Singapore, Thinking Machines Lab had released Inkling, its first in-house open weights model. It is a 9-100-70-5 billion parameter mixture of experts system with 41 billion active, positioned as a customizable multimodal base rather than a closed endpoint. The full weights are available with a 1 million token context window and native reasoning over text, images, and audio. Thinking Machines says it pre-trained Inkling from scratch on 45 trillion tokens, spanning text, images, audio, and video. Developers can fine-tune Inkling on Tinker, test it in a playground, or use several inference partners. The company reports that Inkling used 1/3 as many tokens as Nemotron 3 Ultra to match its Terminal Bench 2.1 coding performance. That makes openness practical. Teams can inspect and host the weights, choose an inference stack, and adapt the model to proprietary workflows instead of only prompting a hosted general model. It also connects the release directly to Thinking Machines' Tinker platform. Keep the limits visible. Thinking Machines says Inkling is not the strongest overall model, open or closed. Its benchmark comparisons mix internal harnesses and self-reported competitor results, and fine-tuning can change safety behavior, so each customized checkpoint needs fresh evaluation. Late in the day, 29 countries signed an agreement establishing the World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Organization, or WAICO, in Shanghai. The agreement defines WAICO as an independent intergovernmental organization headquartered in Shanghai, focused on international cooperation and global governance for beneficial, safe, and fair AI development. China's Foreign Ministry and Xinhua both report that signatories became founding members. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres attended with other international representatives. For builders and policymakers, the practical signal is this: International cooperation and global AI governance are becoming institutional tools of alignment. The boundary is execution. The official summaries announce the organization, but not the full agreement, budget, voting rules, enforcement authority, or implementation milestones. That is the full July 16th edition. The common thread is infrastructure around intelligence, adversarial training, factuality beside preference, open coding harnesses, stronger coding models, safer agent workflows, open weights, and a new intergovernmental governance body. None of these announcements settles which model, tool, or institution will work best. They do show where the industry is investing, systems that test, coordinate, adapt, deploy, and govern AI at scale. If this evidence-first format is useful, subscribe for the next AI Daily. Thanks for watching.